All right. Flamed out.
Gaskets because they are slightly different sizes. Just slightly. So
just in case for which
one you get. The pump's probably used on 2 engines, so they just send both gaskets. You can see they're just slightly different.
Yeah.
And now I get to figure out which one's which.
We get to play with.
This is the right one. The hole there. It looks like, you know, I know how to solve this. The one I can't see the hole for.
All right, so can we see these side by side? Just we haven't seen that they don't match up exactly. I apologize for that.
Yeah, it's just slightly.
Yeah, you can see it right there. It's like one is just slightly off.
The difference is the hole linings. This one is about, I mean, you're talking a millimeter of difference.
Yeah.
Okay. Or probably half a millimeter difference. It's very, very little difference. See how right there you have just a little bit of extra overhang?
Mm-hmm.
And that's really the only difference in them, is just a little extra overhang. Which normally they just give you the big one. So I'm not going to complain about having an extra gasket. But it's just a matter of the bolt holes are a little different spaced. Yep, that matches up perfect. So that's the right one. And that's probably just drilling. One set you had this spacing drilling, the other set you had that spacing drilling.
Yeah.
And it's so minute. I'm surprised they gave us 2. Normally they just give you 1 and the holes are a little elongated.
I'm glad they gave you 2.
That's
all right.
Unusual.
Now for the new versus old comparison.
Nice shiny new pump, old pump.
Yep.
And you can see it's a little different layout. This is new. This is actually a new build instead of remanufactured, I think, Mexico.
Yeah.
But
well, if it's a Chrysler product, I wouldn't be surprised if it's Mexico.
You can see this was bailed down. This is bailed up, which actually the bailed up is a little different. Like I said, not a whole lot. Still, it's still bailed down. It's just a little different on how they crimp it. What I was getting at.
Okay.
It's brass instead of steel. But yeah, it all matches up. The biggest thing is to make sure it has the same zig for the pump actuator. That's what runs the pump.
Okay. So you're basically looking at the same thing as these two, right? You make sure they're similar. Yeah. Or the same, not similar.
Yeah, they're similar. This one's been a little bit more, but that shouldn't matter. They still, it's like I said, it's hard to tell with that, but they line up.
Okay. So USA died in, which one is this one made in?
I think this is made in Mexico. It's not stamped anywhere.
No, where's the box?
But it's got M6736, which I think is Mexico. I think the box says Mexico.
Made in Korea.
Oh, Korea.
Okay.
All right.
We'll see how well it is.
It's a Korean part.
Yeah. Hey, they do good with electronics. I like Samsung phones and TVs and laptops.
And this is a trick I've learned over the years. Works good for me on these. And once again, as you see, I'm not putting the fuel line on first because it makes your life harder later.
Yep. Like I said, make it easier for you to come off.
But I just feed the bolts in with the gasket like this, which is easier without the elongated holes. So I'm kind of glad they just did it with the holes punched in 2 different spots. You got another wasp?
Okay, I'm gonna
sprays right there.
I'll let you do the honor since it's your truck, sir.
There you go.
Appreciate agent. Thought I heard something. He was trying to be quiet.
He had a mouthful of food.
Oh.
Well, she.
He, she?
They're she's.
Okay. Trying to build a nest?
Yeah, they were building a nest. And then
I'm all for hugging the bunnies and keeping animals safe and whatnot. No sense in senselessly running over animals and things like that. I don't like that, but you sting me, I don't like you.
all right, and now when you get it in, you got to make sure you get the little lever on top of the cam that runs it.
All right, so
It just goes in the hole. You'll fill the cam.
all right.
It should sit up on top of it, and then it lines up the holes, but you run into the problem of there's stuff in the way. And I am going to put a towel because I'm getting junk into the orifice for the line.
And let's not do that.
And I got to put... Now, one thing I'm going to have to do, I'm going to have to take this outside bolt off again. So I'm not tightening it. I'm just using it to line up and hold the gasket. Because I've got to attach the return line bracket to it.
So you got to attach your return line bracket first, and then you're gonna put that outside bolt back in.
Yeah.
And then tighten it up to about.
But I used it on both of them, so the gasket would be lined up right.
Okay. And then tighten it up to good and tight.
Yeah. There's
got you.
Somewhere there's specs on it, but
we're just calling good and tight. Okay.
Whole lot of no clearance.
Yeah.
Back. This is the return line. It runs up to the carburetor.
Where
Actually, it runs up to the fuel filters right there. And it's the fuel return.
And if you get mixed up, or you're thinking you get mixed up, a quick handy trick I have heard and learned over the years: get some masking tape, the white paper tape, or duct tape, wrap it around there, and just write and mark.
Yep, blue painter's tape works really good too.
Blue painter's tape. There you go. Just mark it so you don't get discombobulated. Get your lines backwards, and then have your engine running in reverse for the rest of your life. That's the way that works, right?
Sure.
Well, we've had like 9 random advice segments today. We are hitting the random advice.
Well, I haven't been working on old Jeeps, and I've spent a lot of my life working on old Jeeps. So, I have a lot of random advice for the old ones.
You hear that?
Yeah, I think it's one of the ones I sprayed. It's not quite gone.
It sounds like there's a huge nest there, like under there somewhere.
The biggest trouble with this one is just no clearance. And I had the back bolt in, and somehow I managed to knock it out while I was getting the other one in, out of position. And of course the pump was an up cycle when it died, when the engine stopped last. So I'm having to push the pump up.
Actually get it into the right slot.
Because it's pushing the pump down because of the spring.
Will it fit in the wrong slot down there? That lever?
Most of the time you're okay. Some of them, depending on where it is, some of them actually have a cam, and it's possible to get it below the cam instead of above the cam when you're putting it in, and that can cause problems. Oh, what's going to be really fun? I think this pump is just a hair further this way than the old one, so it's going to be really tight getting that fuel. No, there it goes. It's setting back. It was just angled down.
Oh, so the Koreans knew what they were doing.
Yeah. Like I said, it's just that it's at pump up mode, which is really the hardest way to get. It's in the position. The cam's in the position where it's the hardest to get the pump back on. There we go. That's good and tight. With trick to help prime it is you can put fuel into it, but getting fuel in there is a trick. I'm not sure if I'm going to try it.
Well,
normally I'm doing these in the field, so I've never actually primed one of these when I replaced them, because I've never had that luxury.
I mean, we would need like one of those.
I have done this on the side of a road before.
Yes. In the middle of a thunderstorm.
No, didn't have to do that. It's just on the side of the road.
Driving uphill both ways. Uphill both ways. Hopping on one foot to keep the other foot warm.
You kids now don't know what it'll like.
When I was your age. Dagnabbit.
I see why they did that. I'm going to take this back off. They put the hose clamp on upside down.
Ah.
So it wants to face the wrong way. There's an easy way to fix that. Yeah, turn it over.
Yes.
Then it faces the right way.
Don't pull a Ferrari and put a hose clamp on a hose right next to the fuel line.
Rubbing on a hose.
So it can, because the hose clamp can rub through the fuel line and spill hot fuel right all over the hot exhaust manifold. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Tavares or Hoovy, which one of those two actually has a great video demonstrating what happens when that happens?
I don't remember.
There's one of those two.
There's other videos of it that's known problem. It's one of the famous issues with a Ferrari. I don't even remember which model. Actually, several Ferraris have had that issue.
I would just think things rubbing against the fuel line would be on the checklist. That's just me personally. I don't know. I mean, they could be very well built machines. I don't know. Ain't like I can build a.
Where did the other gas go? I thought I put it in that bag, and the bag got moved
on
over
your
here.
foot.
Okay.
You almost stomped on it.
I'm trying not to do that because I want to keep it. And I don't remember if I had to return this as a core. I think that was a new pump. If I don't have to return it as a core, I'm not going to. And that may be in a later video. I'm rebuilding this. I even have an extra gasket because I can make that work. I'm just going to have to notch it to the pad.
Okay. Because it's in the screw holes that you had to adjust it, not in the main part.
Yeah, the main part's the same. The difference is, the difference is these screw holes, actually it's not even both sides. It's this side is different. This side, I think, was the same. This side just had a little bit. That's why I kept pulling it back. I lined up the holes, and you had a little off on the gasket, but just on one side.
Oh, there is a spider web down there. Okay.
Yeah, big one. All the way through funnel web.
I did not see that.
We're not in Australia, so it's not the ones that, empty kill.
Australia is not one of those countries I'm looking forward to visiting the back country of.
He's neared by Carter. There's a Carter fuel pump. I think this was brand new. Yeah, new, not remanufactured. Made in Korea.
Yep.
But these fuel pumps were used on. I think same fuel pump was used for about 30 years on lots of vehicles.
Well, if it works, why change it?
Yeah. I think the 360s, the AMC, the Ford, and the Dodge 360. I think all three use that same pump. So does the 401, and. Oh, there's something else. The only thing that changes, the things that are different, are the connectors and the orientation.
Yeah.
My trucks, I think, is actually oriented a little differently. It's a little lower. Get it in a direction it can be got to, and keep it over the feed. The problem is the easiest direction to do it is at the direction you cannot see it. And you put it where you can see it, then you can't get to it. Because there's a big old power steering pump in the way.
That looks like that is a termite.
Where?
Right there.
Oh, yeah, probably. It's time for them to swarm. No, that's not a termite. That's a busy bee. Go away.
Okay. Never mind. I just saw the two-segmented body. I'm like, oh, it looks like a termite. No, it wasn't a termite.
It's a fly. Type of fly. I'll figure out how to get in here somehow.
Yes, you will. You'll get there one day.
We're now to the easy part of reassembly. This is why they put it on before, and it shouldn't be this hard. It just is because I can't. My hands are big to start with, so I have a hard time fitting back there. And I can't see there. Oh, I had it. I can't see the screw to get it lined up, so it's easy enough once I actually got it.
Yeah.
But I'm doing it blind. I can't see the part I actually need to see, so I'm having to do it by feel more than anything.
You just need mirrors everywhere. Make your whole interior here mirrored.
This thing's got
God, that'd be annoying.
New radiator, even though it's got little nicks and stuff in it, it had very few miles on it. New hoses, new pump, even though it looks a little old, it's a new pump. New fuel pump now, water pump. The power steering pump's not new, but the lines are. We had to have a custom one made. The nice thing is, the thing I hate about it is here, I have most of what I need to have custom parts made to fix things easily. Up there, I don't know. Every place that made custom parts is retired and no one's replaced them.
Yeah.
So it's got some weight reduction.
A little bit of weight reduction.
And this was an Indiana vehicle, so later on I'll show I bought this to put the drivetrain in another Cherokee. And then I said my parents fell in love with this one, so I kind of did too. This has the full-time four-wheel drive, basically all-wheel drive, but it's full-time four-wheel drive with low range, and it's in the glove box. Little lever you switch over there.
So it's an early version of all-wheel drive.
Actually, it's an early version of all-wheel drive, but the thing is, it's an old... All-wheel drive isn't a new concept. When four-wheel drive first came around, most four-wheel drive vehicles were full-time four-wheel drive. So, and you're talking... I think the first one was actually in the teens.
So it's not all-wheel drive. It is full-time
four-wheel drive.
Okay, all right, my bad.
Full-time four-wheel drive with low.
Yeah.
So it's just the fact that you don't have a disengaging transfer case. You have a transfer case that's designed to run with the car.
Yeah.
So it's designed for high speed.
Okay. Makes sense, I guess. So it ain't the type of all-wheel drive, or ain't the type like I got to do with my car. If one tire gets flat, you got to replace all 4 tires.
No. This is about as simple as it gets. It just basically consists of a transfer case that all the power feeds through to transfer to all 4 wheels. This is basically how Subaru did it too, except for Subaru did hydraulic.
Yeah.
And it's all-wheel drive. They called it all-wheel drive to 4-wheel drive. It has a few little things, but when you break it down between 4-wheel drive and all-wheel drive,
yeah, I get it now.
You get back on there. Get back on there.
By the way, please like, share, subscribe.
You get back in your clip.
Here's your daily reminder from Crazy Karl Projects.
I'm herding lines here. I got a line. It's the vacuum line for the distributor.
Yeah.
The adjuster, it's got a clip that goes in. It came off the clip and it sit on the block. It can melt and also mess with the temperature of the air going in.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Oh, how am I doing this? I'm at the my hand doesn't fit in there point. So I'm trying to figure out how to do the hand tighten part without my hand getting in there.
Yep. And yeah, my guy just went in that direction.
What, boss?
Yeah, it went in and down.
Luckily, they only bother the camera guy, so I'm doing fine.
You are doing fine. You also don't mind if you get stung.
Oh, I don't like getting stung. It still hurts. This is a pain. This is stuff you do by hand, and I can't get my hand in there. And that's starting the feed on the hard line for the fuel line.
Yeah.
I can barely get the wrench in there. In a way it'll turn. And you have the hard line, see it's all nice and shaped. That's to keep it off the block. So it doesn't get hot.
Yeah, fuel line getting hot is a bad idea.
Maybe I'm going the wrong direction. That's possible.
Lefty loosey, righty tighty.
Yes, but then you have to figure out which right and which left.
Unless you got a right-handed loosey, which is that's always a weird one.
That's what I was trying to remember, and I think I was going the opposite way, which I loosened it. So I'm not sure. Oh, it seems like I was going.
And he's wearing a hat today, so I can't make fun of his bald spot.
Preventing sunburn.
That's what you say.
You have another friend?
Yeah, this one didn't want to say hi. Thank God.
I think it's worked up the pipe is what I'm having problems with, so it's not meeting, and I can't get in there to push it down right. And
you got a rebellious fuel line. That's what you got. You're a rebellious hard line.
Make this a little easier. Just got that reclip. Now I gotta unclip it. Freaking vacuum line. I can get it out of here.
Crazy question, but is that one's clear, right? That hard line's clear, right?
Yeah, it should be. Yeah.
Cool.
Starter fluid. I'm just going to try to clean this up a little bit, see if I can get this turning better. Just cleaning it out.
Yeah.
Not really anything, spraying starter fluid in it, clean it out a little, make sure there's junk in it, and trying to get this so it'll turn.
The nuts are not turning.
There we go. New battery.
New battery.
Alright, and back to this. I took this off, broke this loose, decided I would replace a little piece of soft line because it was kind of cracked up. Hadn't even told a joke yet.
Yeah, well, it's always best when they crack up before you tell them jokes.
And now I gotta get this under everything.
Over, under, around, and through. Just ain't for ties anymore.
There
Not
we
for
go.
old Jeeps.
Get that. Because the funny thing is, this hard line holds everything off the engine block.
I mean, if it works, I guess it does obviously work. I mean, I'm sure there's an engineer out there who's looking at this right now, going, "Eee!" Cringing.
And someone else saying, "Oh, that's brilliant, multitask."
Yeah.
I still can't get my hand in there. I broke it loose so it moves. Verified I was going the right way the first time, but I just gotta try to line it up from out here and get it to feed because I can't get my hand in there to do it by hand.
He's going to line it up and hope it works. That's all I can do.
It is a little easier now without all the tension on the bar and with the thing cleaned up so it actually turns easily.
Yeah. Y'all are a Jeep family, aren't you?
Yeah.
AMC Jeeps.
Well, no, the one under the bin under there is Chrysler.
Okay. Well, I wasn't going to show the house, but sure.
Yeah, you can. I built the thing, so I don't mind showing it off.
All right.
But yeah, that one is 4-cylinder manual, 73 with 200,000 miles roughly on it.
Mm-hmm.
But it is on engine number 3. Those 4 cylinders will drop rings, but the first reason was not for that. Walmart blew up the engine in it
They're good at that.
when the thing was like 3 years old.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's why you'd never trust a Walmart oil change.
No. Walmart blew up the engine in it and bought us a new one. And then Dad just had it dropped a ring. It was going to have to be rebuilt, and it was cheaper and easier just to get a rebuild engine in it than it was to take it out and rebuild it.
Yeah. I had a vehicle I brought to Walmart for an oil change, and something told me to check the dipstick. I pulled in my house, or apartment building at the time, checked the dipstick, bone dry.
That one they put the wrong oil filter on 3 times. It blew the oil filter off 3 times too.
Yeah.
And the third time when it blew the oil filter, it blew the engine. They bought a new engine for it. And I don't do oil changes at Walmart. I don't do much of anything. I'll buy parts from Walmart. I don't let them touch my car.
No. Come on, you don't want your wheels unbalanced?
Or destroyed. Or lost. Or a lug ripped off. Or, let's see. That truck had a lug busted off by Walmart. That Pontiac kits we worked on had the wheels destroyed. They actually ran the lugs all the way through the wheels.
Yeah.
That thing's had engine. Oh, what else was there? Seems like there was something else.
On the bright side, it seems like it's really easy to get an engine rebuilt from Walmart. Just go there for an oil change.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Don't do that. If you need an engine rebuilt, talk to somebody about getting it rebuilt.
Watch Walmart claim against us on this.
They can claim whatever they want. They ain't monetized.
No.
They ain't getting a dime.
It's like, yeah, unanimously don't. Now, I can't say for all Walmarts. Every once in a while, you'll get a Walmart that actually has a good shop, but
Yeah,
don't assume any Walmart has a good shop.
that's true.
It's like any place. There's a lot of chain ones that are that way. The chain itself might be junk, but you get a good one here and there.
Yeah, like certain tire companies that shall not be named begin with fire and end with stone.
Yeah.
Have been ripped off.
Or have O in the name.
In those places. Yeah.
Ones that have O in the name. This thing. Problem with this is this has been pulled on and off so many times that it's kind of rounded. So I've gotten it tight though. Should be good. All right. Now I need to cut a little piece of fuel line. But it's just this little piece that connects the filter to the hard line. There's 2 clamps. It's just a little section.
All right.
But you can see it's an old piece of line.
For fuel injection. You can see that?
Yep.
You can't use any old rubberized line.
This one is not for fuel injection. But the biggest thing is the max pressure. That's going to be the difference between for fuel injection and not for fuel injection. Is your 50 psi with not.
Yeah.
With, if you had this, it would have a higher pressure rating.
Okay.
So you make sure if you're working on a fuel injected car, it has anywhere where it uses soft line, you get one that's rated as such. And when in doubt, buy the more expensive line. Because there's nothing like having a fuel line blow.
Now I'm stepping away from you, not because of hornets.
Yeah, because I have a dull razor.
You flicked in my direction more than once.
You're out of range.
Now I'm out of range.
You were out of range then.
With a little closer comfort. Starting to shave my arm there, pal.
I don't even know if that was a wasp.
Well, it shouldn't be that low. When I agreed to come out here with you to record, I didn't know it was a suicide mission.
There we go. And yes, I've heard people say that should always be down. In my opinion on that, just remember it's sharp sometimes. And the easier it is to get to, the less likely you are to cut yourself on it.
Pretty much.
1/4 inch. These are standardly 1/4 inch. And some of the new ones are like 7mm or 8mm. Every once in a while you get a bigger one and it's 3/8. And I've been accused of over tightening these things, but I tighten them till the rubber bulges out. I've had lines blow, so.
Yeah. I would rather it not leak right there above the thing that gets hot. That might be bad.
Yeah. And I also leave as little line as possible between them. Just because.
Yeah.
See what she does.
Alrighty, we're gonna hear this thing run?
Probably, well, we'll probably hear that the thing has a dead battery, but
alright.
we'll find out. We hear the thing has a dead battery.
Bum bum ba-dum. Boom.
I figured that was the case, and I probably should have been charging the battery all day, but I remembered it right as we were finishing up. I was like, I'll just finish putting it together, then I'll charge the battery.
Well, we can get it started sometime.
Yeah.
So, you gonna charge the battery?
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I thought you said your parents had like a Ferrari or something.
Way over there, it's blue, labeled New Holland.
Funny. Funny.
That's American Ferrari.
So that means we're going to have New Holland cars?
No, well, maybe. I won't put it past them. Who owns Ferrari right now, anyways?
Fiat, I thought.
Maybe.
They buy everybody. They're like the Italian version of GM. They can't build They can't build good cars. They just buy people who could build good cars and then
They
ruin
figure
them.
out how to ruin it.
Yeah. Right now there's a bunch
So
of
now the
people.
two biggest car companies in the world are GM and GM. GM and GM Italian style.
Yeah. Now there's a bunch of people out there going, hey, wait a minute.
Oh.
I like your battery tie down, by the way.
Well, yeah, I secured it. That was my creation.
And well, that works.
That's a heavy battery too. Yeah, still brand new engine.
Oh, what is break-in oil?
Not really, not necessarily anything special. Sometimes it is, but more than anything, just the fact it's the first batch of oil in an engine. Sometimes it has special mixes in it. It has other stuff in it, but
Yeah.
this one doesn't. Hey, Spud. You might need power steering fluid.
Okay, did that little chant tell you it needed power steering fluid?
Yep.
Okay.
Coolant's good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's that, and that. Let's see if it turns over.
Alrighty-o.
And I can't go anywhere where I gotta lock it.
Hmm.
No, I'm really not sure.
You try the hammer trick, just start beating on the starter.
Yep. I would say what the gauges are saying, but the gauges don't say anything. Let's see if the lights work.
You got lights up here.
Side mark doesn't work, but that's alright. That's minor. Alright. Grab a wire real quick. Gonna try to see if it's a bad switch. Hey, I scared it.
You did. It might actually be a bad switch, though.
No, I jiggled a bunch of wires, so that may have fixed it. It's a Jeep. Jiggling wires works a lot of times. I have no idea why. Okay. This isn't unusual. That's why I had the starter fluid.
Mm-hmm.
I got the hot wire. It said, okay, I'll cooperate.
What size that is? T90. That's what size that is.
It's not a wing nut. And it's got a really mean lock washer on it that's upside down.
All right. Flamed out. Standing back.
Oh, come on, there's beautiful fireballs. And she runs.
And she idles. For once, we have a project that
And
has.
then also don't suck anything into that brand new carburetor.
All right.
Did you catch that?
No, I was paying attention to you.
It
Move
threw
it
its
up.
hat.
Huh?
It threw its hat. I was tighten that up. I think it's regular engine.
Yeah, that's what I would recommend.
That's anything but a gas station.
You know how we talk about none of these projects go according to plan?
Yeah, we just spent 4 hours on a battery.
Yes.
Battery in it apparently died.
Yes.
Charger didn't charge it after 2 hours.
Feels familiar.
The Napa closed at 3 o'clock. I thought it was 4 o'clock, so we were rushed to get there. We got there 10 minutes after 3.
Yes.
Had to go all the way to another town, an hour away, to get a battery at Walmart. I actually bought a battery for the Kia. So I have a spare battery for the Kia, because the battery for this thing doesn't fit in anything else my dad owns. So when he takes it in and gets it exchanged, because it's only a year old,
Yeah.
I'll have a brand new battery for this thing. So I got a battery or something I needed.
Makes sense. Well,
And I did get windshield wiper blades, so that's the only thing left on this project for taking it home. And I may or may not put them on. I may just carry them with me.
oh, we won't, if he puts them on, we won't record that. After all, if most people know how to install windshield wiper blades, they're not terribly difficult.
But yeah.
Alrighty. Okay, there we go.
Yep.
And she lives.
Yep.
All right, thank you very much for hanging out.
And I figure it's probably a 6 liter now instead of a 5.9 liter, since no one uses cubic inches anymore.
More than likely. And if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. If you did not enjoy this video and you stuck around, well, appreciate you.
Torture somebody with it. If you know someone that wants to buy an old Jeep, show it to them so they get to know the joys. They really are. If you don't have a problem working on your own car, these things are nice, and they do, like the ignition thing, that's not uncommon. Just because their wiring's a little iffy, so go jiggle some wires. You'll be amazed. Jiggling wires, this is why I use dielectric grease on everything, because you jiggle wires less on these old things when you use them.
Yeah.
So,
well, if you want to ensure your child grows up to be an ace mechanic, when they turn 16, buy them a beat-up AMC era Jeep.
Let them make the mistake of spending their money on a new car on an old Jeep. And I mean old Jeep, at least Chrysler era before Mercedes.
Yeah.
And like I had my first car was a 77 CJ7.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a 3-speed with a V8. And it was no heat, no air, not waterproof. Actually, that Maharinda is about as luxurious as it was, except for it had a radio.
Yeah.
But that can have a radio added, and that actually gets a whole lot better mileage.
Interior's probably in better condition too.
Oh yeah, it's got a 5-speed. And second gear works.
Yes.
That 3-speed second gear worked when it felt like it. You only need first and third.
Yeah.
So long.